Okay, everyone there? Everyone ready? Let's start with Namo Tassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Okay, we discussed already this first lesson. I think this one is quite easy, even though some of you, I think, used but incorrectly. But let's start with A2. Where is Santavach? Okay, so you have these connectors. Yeah, it's a good summary, you know? These words which are, some of them are conjunctions, some of them are adverbs. If you feel very confident with this, then you can do your own lessons. The mañana, maybe anyone else who comes. Okay, so let's discuss a little bit how they are used. These are contrast. These are give you the reason, and this one the result. Later there are more options for each of these kitchas they perform, no? Okay. Although, even though is also okay. Even though, although, look, it cannot be alone in a sentence. Okay? Yeah. Pay attention to this. This, for example, is important. It cannot be alone in a sentence. What I mean is only although and one clause. Remember what a clause is, like a subject and a verb, and usually a predicate, something being spoken of the subject. Remember this? Let me make this bigger. Better. So you see you have, although we didn't like the hotel. You see you have like this clause, we didn't like the hotel. And you have another clause, we had fun. And these two clauses are showing a contrast. A contrast, there is a certain opposition. They are not both going on the same direction. You understand? There is a certain contrast or certain clash. Yes. So we had fun is like a good thing, and then opposed to that, we didn't like the hotel. Okay? So although shows there is an opposing force. Although we didn't like the hotel, we had fun. We had fun wins in the end. This is the most important clause. You understand? If you had to say between these two forces, we didn't like the hotel and we had fun, which one wins? Which one was stronger? We had fun. Okay? You understand?
Yes.
So what you're saying in this sentence with although is that you had fun, okay, this happened. Although there was something pulling you back. Okay? Do you understand what I mean? We had fun, this is the final result, although we didn't like the hotel. Okay? There's a contrast. Or you can start with although they played well, and then you need a comma over there, you see? They lost. And then here some of you used another conjunction. For example, although they played well, but they lost. Okay? So don't use two together, yes. Although they played well, they lost. You see, directly.
They still lost.
Yeah, they lost. Although they played well, this means they played very well, but in the end, they lost.
There are sometimes because of our
Language?
used to use that kind of sentence. When something happened, then we use it,
But.
come.
Yeah.
We use like that.
In your language?
Yeah.
Then we normally direct
Must
our
to help one.
language
Yeah.
into English. So not translate our language.
Yeah, you have to gradually migrate to English and try to think in English.
Yeah, but somehow we use some in.
Sometimes you will speak as if it were from your language,
Yeah.
no? Yeah. This happens. We cannot avoid. But try to come to just English. Then it will be better, okay? Because each language you can say the same thing but in another way. It's like a different way of speaking. You cannot just translate the words, right?
Yeah. Normally
Okay.
we do that.
Yes.
Yes.
So although they played well, they lost. So however also shows a contrast, but it's used a little bit differently, you see. Although is like a conjunction, you see. It's joining two clauses. However is an adverb. It goes over here in the beginning of this. Either a whole sentence, you can have however, comma, they lost. It's an entire sentence, you see. Do you understand? It's not joining sentences. Okay? It is still showing a contrast, but it's an adverb. Okay, so it's a different function. So you just have to remember this. Either you have a semicolon, and then however with a not capitalized, you see, and a comma after however, always. Okay, so we had fun. However, we didn't like the hotel. Or you can finish the previous sentence, you see. They played well. Finish the sentence. And then you start a new sentence with a capital letter. However, comma, they lost.
However is showing.
This is more common.
Yeah, more common. And however is modified lost. Right?
Modify is, as far as I understand, the whole sentence.
Oh,
Yes, some adverbs modify the whole sentence.
Not only word.
Not only a word, for example. Yeah.
This one such type.
However, it's in the beginning of the sentence, it kind of modifies the whole sentence, yes. As far as I understand, okay? Yes. So, although and however, now, reasons, words that use for connection as connections that show a reason. Because and because of. Okay, it's quite similar if you just look like this, but it's used quite differently. Because you have a subject, you see, following. So because it's a conjunction, it joins two clauses. So you will necessarily have a subject in the second clause. Okay, so here, they cancel the concert. Okay, this is the first clause. Because it's joining the clauses, you see you have another subject. It was raining. Subject and verb. Past continuous, was raining. You see, it is a subject here. It's a pronoun, but it's a subject, you see. So it's a because as a conjunction. And then you have another clause, subject and verb. Okay, or assisting verb, main verb. Okay? They cancel the concert because it was raining. And there is no need for commas over here. I'm fit because I work out. To work out is a phrasal verb, remember? Phrasal verbs. Some phrasal verbs are quite difficult. More advanced phrasal verbs. But to work out is quite common. To work out is to do exercise. Doesn't mean to work like a job. No, work out is like an exercise, okay? So I'm fit because I work out. That's the reason, okay? Okay, now because of. If you have because of, it must be something. Because of something, okay? So I'll tell you how I know this, okay? If you ask me what goes after because, I don't know. Like, I haven't memorized this rule. You understand? Maybe in the past when I was young, maybe I did. But I naturally, because of, after because, I will say a subject. You understand? It becomes automatic. You understand? So if you ask me what is the rule, I don't know. Like, I have to think. Like, I'm tired because it's a subject. You understand? I have to think, but I have it already in my system, so to say, you know. So I want you to get to this level. Sometimes you have to kind of get the grammar and memorize a few things, but if you can read it many times and use it many times, it will become kind of natural, automatic. So because, subject and verb, so because I work out, or because of, then you need because of something, then it's a noun. Yeah, you cannot say because of I and put the subject there. It makes no sense, no? Okay? So they cancel the concert because of, now you need something, the rain. Yeah, a noun with its article sometimes, no? Okay? Because of the rain, because of the weather, because of the heat, because of the cold, etc. No? They had to close because of the crisis, economic crisis, right? So they had to close because of that.
They had to close the bank.
They had to close the banks because of the crisis. Okay, you need a noun over here.
Can use infected.
Infected? Sorry?
Very
Infected.
bad situation happened.
Hmm?
We have another word for that. Maybe.
Pandemic?
Maybe.
Yes, for example, they had to close. For example, Pa'auk Monastery was closed due to the pandemic. Due to, I used another one, sorry. Because of the pandemic. Okay? Because of the pandemic. Right? Not the panda, the pandemic. Okay, so just maybe use this several times. I think you will see this. This is very common. So you'll see it in many sentences. Pay attention. Okay? Result. Showing a result. One option you have is so. There are other options as well. It was very late. And you see the comma goes before so, not after so. Okay? It was very late. So we took a taxi home. To show, it's also connecting, you see, so it's a conjunction, connecting two clauses, and it's showing the result. It was very late, and then what was the result of being late? The fact that it was late, we took a taxi home. Okay? So, she doesn't want to do it. In another sentence you could put, so do it yourself. You see? You don't need commas over here. But sometimes there are other so's, okay? Doesn't mean any so is like this. There is so as a conjunction. Sometimes there are other so's. Sometimes words have different functions, right? Okay. So this is, okay, maybe a little more in detail.
In previous sentence, why you put that in first sentence?
Quotation marks?
Yes, quotation marks in first one. She does not want to do it. Why?
Someone said this, she doesn't want to do it. It's like a conversation on a text. So you have a quotation, she doesn't want to do it. Someone is saying this.
Yes, and second sentence.
And then the second sentence is the answer. So do it yourself. So the quotation mark is ended. A new quotation mark is begins. So it's someone else saying this. So do it yourself. You see? It's like a conversation, for example, on a book, for example.
So and therefore, quite serious.
Yeah, therefore also shows like a conclusion. Yes. But therefore you can begin a sentence with therefore. Here it's a bit different. So you do it yourself either as a conjunction. For example, you don't begin a sentence like that. Or here in a conversation, feel like it's a bit more informal. So do it yourself. Yeah, this is like an informal, it's like an incomplete sentence because it's a conversation. So when we talk, sometimes we say dependent clauses alone when we speak. Okay? For example, if you ask me, why did you come late? I can answer, because I was sick. Technically, because I was sick is not a full sentence, no? but we speak like this. Understand? It's like my sentence or my half a sentence is connected to what your question, and then it becomes complete. All the information is there. Okay? But normally in text, in writing, we have like full sentences.
One day it is imperative. You can say imperative.
Imperative? Yes. Do it yourself. Imperative. Imperative. Okay, I think this is enough. Clause of reason, because, result. Okay, time connectors. Before, after, while, soon as, when, once. Before. I brush my teeth before breakfast. You see, you have before something, a noun, you see? Or an ing verb. Before having breakfast, you can also say. Before having breakfast, or before breakfast itself.
Should be after, no?
Sorry? Yeah, I brush my teeth before breakfast is, you should do it maybe after breakfast is better, right?
No, I think people breakfast.
So like
Really?
no,
Depend on the person.
wake up and then brush. And
Some
then
people wake up and brush their teeth, no?
Yeah, I used to
Yeah.
do that.
I see the Pacheka Buddhas, no? They, before Pindapata, I think they wash their mouth, no?
Yes, that is how.
Right? But then after eating, you should again wash your mouth, no? Otherwise the food will stay on your teeth and bacteria and all that, no? Okay. Another way of using before. I brush my teeth before I have breakfast. Then don't say I having breakfast. Okay? Before I have breakfast. So you can see before a noun, before ing kind of thing, gerund, or before a subject of breakfast. See, is more flexible, this word. Before breakfast, before having breakfast, before I have breakfast. After. I brush my teeth after breakfast. It's the same, you see, after breakfast, after having breakfast, after I have breakfast. You see, it's the same thing. Here there is one difference, let's see. In consecutive actions, you know consecutive? One after the other.
I don't know.
One after the other is consecutive. Consecutive. Yeah.
2 days consecutive.
Consecutive.
Can you
For example, in 5 consecutive days. This means one day after the other. Okay?
5 days.
Consecutive, without any days in between. Consecutive.
Continue.
Continuously, yes.
Continuously.
Okay.
One day,
What?
I have one question for you. I have breakfast and I have a car.
I have a car, yeah.
Yes, is there any difference between have, like, I have a car is possession, yes?
Possess. I have a car.
And
State
I have-
verb, no? I think it's a state verb. And then,
Both are verbs, yes. Both
yeah,
are-
verbs. I have a car and I have breakfast. Both are verbs. I have a car. Yeah, both are verbs. But I have breakfast. I have a car. That's subtle. I don't know.
It's different.
One is like a state. State.
This is one, so possession state.
Sounds like a state. I have a car is like a state of possessing something. The other is like I have breakfast. Seems to me a little bit more like an action.
Action.
Yes.
I have breakfast.
Yes.
Breakfast.
Yeah. Or you could say I have breakfast, meaning you have the breakfast
Oh.
as a possessive state as well, no? Could also be like that. Or you have breakfast, meaning eating the breakfast, yes. So in consecutive actions, use then or after that. Okay, I get up and have a shower. You see, consecutive actions. You get up, have a shower, and then you want to put another action after you don't. This I've seen in your text, some of you maybe. After I have breakfast. If you have a consecutive actions, then you see, please use then or after that, not just after. Okay? After is like after what? Okay, we don't say just after by itself. Okay? So after that or then. After I have breakfast,
That one is after and
I again brush my teeth. Huh?
that one is after and before.
After and before?
Yes.
Yeah, before as well. Before that, if you want to start the sentence, before that, yeah. Not just before, as a time connector kind of word, you see? So then I have breakfast, or after that I have breakfast. And you see, whenever you introduce a time period like this, then after that you put a comma, you see? You put a comma. Sometimes even if you don't put a comma, the sentence is still clear, but depending on the next word, it can be very confusing. Okay?
Yeah.
So this comma is a bit important. Okay, let's see while. I read the newspaper while I was waiting. Voila. While I was waiting.
Voila.
While, if you say it by itself, while, but with while I was waiting, okay? So I was waiting. So present and past of read is spelt the same, right?
Yeah.
So when you read this sentence, it's actually a little bit of a problem because you don't know if it's I read the newspaper or I read the newspaper. You don't know actually. Only when you come over here, while I was waiting, it's in the past. I read the newspaper. It cannot be present over here, you see?
Why they don't put ed?
Yeah, I feel like this we should change. Maybe we should
It's
change.
the same sound. It's the same sound. It's better.
Same sound? Same sound?
Same sound is better.
Same sound, like cut, no?
Yeah.
Maybe that's a solution, okay. Yeah, because it otherwise it's actually a problem. When you're speaking, it's not a problem. You know you're thinking about the past. But if you're reading, it can be a problem. Okay. So then, after a while, you have a subject, you see? While I was waiting. An entire clause goes after a while, you see? Not just an object, a noun. Okay? So you need a subject necessarily over here, you see? Okay, when, as soon as, or once. They are three different ones, okay? They have the similar meaning. You can use them interchangeably. As soon as I get home, as soon as, you see, as soon sounds like an S, as soon, okay? But this one sounds like a Z, as I. As soon as I, as soon as I. Not as soon as I, okay? Yeah, as I. Here it sounds like an S. It sounds like an S because of the sandhi over here, see? Okay, as soon as I get home, I'll finish my homework. Okay, as soon as I get home, this means I get home and I'll finish my homework. Very short time, brief time between these actions, okay? As soon as. We say a lot, as soon as possible, right? As soon as possible. Okay.
Can you pronounce the I will?
I'll finish. I'll. Not all. I'll. Yes. I'll finish. I'll finish. If you say this like by itself, it's I'll, but we don't say it like this. Like it's I'll finish. I'll finish now. I'll finish. Okay. I'll finish my homework.
You can say
Sorry.
I would finish my.
I would.
What is the
I get is present. As soon as I get home,
Then you can say I got.
I will.
Then you can use past.
Immediate action. We can use.
I would. You cannot say I would over here. Would is either in the past. You can say I would like to finish my homework. Okay.
Okay.
Found a way of using would.
I will write.
Okay, the same for when. When I get home, at that time, I'll finish my homework. Once I get home, once here is not one time. Sometimes once means one time, right? Once, twice, thrice. No, here is once I get home, it has this meaning like when I get home, okay? This type of meaning. Once I get home, I'll finish my homework. When, yes. When I. Okay. Okay, right? Common mistakes. Let's take a look at this. When you see, I will call you when I get home, not when I will get home. Even though you're talking about I will call you, it's like in the future. I will call you when I get home, not when I will get home. Okay?
Okay, this makes sense.
I will call you when I get home. Yeah, you don't need another will.
Get home.
Okay, you don't need another will.
Get home.
I'll call you.
When I get home, I'll call you.
When I get home.
I'll call you when I get home.
That also correct.
Yes. If you start with when I get home, then you need a comma. I'll call you. Okay? Or you can start over here. I'll call you without any commas when I get home. Okay? Okay. So this was this lesson. Maybe next Tuesday we see the next lesson. Sorry. Who, what, how, why. So I was over here, wait. Back. Possessive adjectives. Here, right? So this is quite okay. This was quite okay. So next one is the B level already, B1. B1. And even though you're not in B2, maybe some of you, I think we should study all of these, okay? To help you make sentences, connect ideas for your essays, okay? For your exams. So yesterday, we practiced some writing. If you haven't given me the writing, Sankitcha, for example, I think Damajota. Where is Damajota? Where is Damajota?
He has 2 minutes extra.
Extra what?
He
Hmm? Bante Maga what? Hmm?
He has some discussion with you.
Some discussion with him. Okay. Okay, no. So sometimes we discuss it like this. I think it makes it a little clearer, no? Sometimes you read by yourself. Maybe sometimes you don't get it clearly, no? Okay. So now please keep working on this. Okay. Today. Enough. So if you haven't finished the writing, please send it to me. I'm still correcting some of them. It takes a long time, so please wait. Yeah, I think, what do you think? Sometimes you write something wrong. What do you think? Sometimes you write something wrong and then I correct it, but then you kind of see it and then kind of forget, I think.
Sure.
So some big mistakes, I'll require you to repeat that sentence. Write it down again with the correction. Then maybe it will stick. Okay?
Sticky rice.
Sticky rice, yes.